Day 59, verses 33 to 35, Being Yourself. Namaste and welcome to Gita 360. Yesterday, we reflected on acting with trust and learning to loosen our grip on outcomes. Today, the Gita turns towards our own nature and teaches why staying true to ourselves matters. Even wise people act according to their natures, for all living beings are propelled by their natural tendencies. What will one gain by repression? Every person has their own personal tendencies, strengths, and ways of responding to life. Some naturally seek movement and action. Some feel drawn towards reflection and stillness. Some discover meaning through creating, some through serving, some through leading, and some through caring for others. Yet many of us spend years trying to become someone else. We suppress emotions because they seem inconvenient. We hide parts of ourselves because they do not fit the image we want others to see. We look at or idolize others and then step into roles that may bring approval and admiration, but are not familiar to ourselves. For a while, this may seem to work. We adjust, adapt, and continue moving forward. We succeed, are admired by the world, or we fail and are looked down upon. But irrespective of what we lose or gain, being a version of ourselves that does not feel true eventually becomes exhausting. The mind grows tired when it spends too long trying to be accepted at the cost of being understood, even by itself. Being ourselves does not mean refusing to grow or change. It simply means beginning with honesty instead of denial. The senses naturally experience attachment and aversion to the sense objects, but do not be controlled by them, for they are stumbling blocks and foes on the path to self realization. We often gravitate towards what feels pleasant and away from what feels uncomfortable. We become attached to praise, familiarity, comfort, and approval. We resist uncertainty, criticism, discomfort, and situations that challenge us. These shifts happen so subtly and naturally that we rarely stop to notice how much influence they have over our decisions. Yet, many of the things that help us grow ask something difficult from us. Honest conversations can be uncomfortable. Discipline can feel demanding. Change can bring uncertainty. Some of the most meaningful moments in life begin where comfort ends. If every choice is guided only by attraction and avoidance, we slowly stop choosing consciously. We simply begin following wherever the mind pulls us. We let the mind control us instead of us driving the mind. It is far better to perform one's natural prescribed duty, though tinged with faults, than to perform another's prescribed duty, even if perfectly. In fact, it is preferable to die in the discharge of one's duty than to follow the path of another which is fraught with danger. Comparison enters our life very early. We compare marks in school, careers, achievements, lifestyles, and eventually even happiness itself. Slowly, we begin believing there is a certain way life is supposed to look. We look around and wonder whether we are moving fast enough, achieving enough, becoming enough. And without realizing it, we slowly begin stepping away from ourselves. That's the reason some people achieve everything they once hoped for and still feel disconnected from their own life. Sometimes the problem is not failure. Sometimes the problem is that the path itself never felt like it belonged to them. Living our own lives does not guarantee an easy journey. There will still be mistakes, uncertainty, and struggle. But there is less conflict within when our effort is moving in a direction that feels true. There is less need to constantly perform, compare, and prove ourselves. Because fulfillment is not created only by reaching somewhere. It comes from recognizing ourselves in the path we are walking. Many people reach a stage where they pause and ask themselves a difficult question: how did I end up here? To the outside world, everything appears fine. Responsibilities are fulfilled. Expectations have been met. Goals have been achieved. Yet there is a nagging feeling that something important was left behind along the way. Perhaps it happened slowly. A dream that felt impractical was put aside. A part of ourselves stayed hidden because it did not fit what others expected. A decision made to please everyone else gradually became a life we never consciously chose. And eventually, we end up with a life that was dictated by someone else or by following someone else. Sometimes the deepest exhaustion does not come from working too hard. It comes from moving too far away from ourselves. The world will always offer countless definitions of success. But there is one question that truly deserves our attention. Does the life I am building feel true to me? Thought of the day. Pause for a moment today and ask yourself, am I becoming more deeply myself, or am I slowly moving away from who I truly am? Thank you for joining me on Geeta 360. May you discover the wisdom to understand your own nature, the courage to honor it with sincerity, and the peace that comes from walking a path that truly belongs to you.